Hello, I thought I would do a little craft along video with you guys. I've never done one of these before, so bear with me. I'm kind of a slow crafter. I probably will be pausing a lot so that you don't have to watch every tedious step. But I thought it would be fun to share with you guys how I sort of go about creating an embellishment. So first up, I'm going to use the Simple Stories Heart Eyes collection. I love this so much. This is maybe my second favorite Valentine's collection of all time. It's really, really cute. So first I have cut out these lips. These are from Scrap Diva Designs, and I'll leave the information for everything down in the description. I cut them out on white and then this pink paper, and then I stitched around. The die itself already has stitching marks, but I like the way it looks when you machine stitch it. I use really heavy duty thick upholstery thread for mine because I find that it gives the stitch marks a cleaner look on the front, but it makes them very messy on the back. I'm sure it's some kind of setting on my sewing machine, but it's super old and I've tried everything and it still looks like this on the back. So I just live with it. I'm going to adhere this to something anyway, so you're not even going to see the back, so no big deal. So I stitched around. I have also created one of these little paper ruffles and stitched down the center, and I like to leave the little sides free, so I left that there. And then I've also cut one of these little banners. I already had this cut and ready to go, so I pulled it out to see if it will work. And then this is a cut apart from one of the papers in the collection, and I just trimmed out this little shape and stitched around it. So, and then I've also pulled out some ephemera that I think might work, a die cut that I had, and this is the Love Sentiment from the Love Bag Topper die at Scrap Diva Designs. So I just pulled out a few things that I think will work so that we don't have to spend forever with me trying to think about it. And I'm going to just sort of play with everything and see what I think will work and what looks good. So I've kind of worked it out a little bit in my mind that I might put this here. And then I'm thinking this on top in the center. And then I think it needs some contrast here. So maybe this poking out here is what I'm thinking. And then I want to use this banner somehow, but I don't know. It's pink on pink. I'm not sure if that's going to stand out enough. I kind of just eyeball it before I start gluing anything down to see if I like it. Let's see, this would poke out a little bit. I want to, when I'm doing this, I want to make sure that you can see that these are lips. I don't want to cover up the fact that they're lips. I might have to trim this little stick off. That would be okay. That's not a big deal. I've got this that I thought might look cute down here or even here. I don't know, one of the two. And then I pulled out this. I trimmed off the rest of I used the other piece. So I don't have very much of this collection. Like I said, I love, love, love the crepe paper main squeeze collection, and so I've been trying to use it because I have so much of it in my stash, and I just I found it one time and I bought a whole bunch of it, and I love it so much, and I've been using it. But then this collection came out and I thought, okay, I'll just buy a little bit of it, and I love this collection so much too. So I'm probably going to order more, but it's probably not going to be here in time for Valentine's Day. Okay, so that's maybe one option. And then I also pulled this ephemera piece out just to see how I think it might look back here. But I think it's going to get buried with this flag. I don't know if you're going to be able to see much of it, and it doesn't offer much contrast, but it does give quite a bit of layers. I wonder if I could have it hanging down like that, and then maybe put this here. I don't know, but then that covers up the polka dots, and I really love the polka dots. Okay, I feel like that's too crazy. Okay, so no on the flowers. Okay, so no go on that. I'm going to start gluing some stuff down. I plugged in my hot glue gun. While that's heating up, I thought I would share a couple things with you guys where this stuff comes from. So this polka dotted paper here is not part of the Heart Eyes collection. This is the Dots and Stripes white paper by Echo Park. And I ordered some of this online, several sheets, because I like to add black and white polka dots to all kinds of collections. So I grabbed that, and I think it works really well with this collection. Also, this bow is from Daiso. This paper that I cut this out with is from Dollar Tree, but it wasn't paper. It was a bowl, a big paper bowl, and it was in the party section, and I bought several of them, and I cut them apart and used them as cardstock to cut out because it's like a pearlized paper. And then, let's see. Okay, I also pulled out this iridescent thread. This is really thick embroidery floss. It's from Hobby Lobby. This is the information. I have no idea what brand it is, but if you go down the embroidery aisle, they have these there. I'm almost out, but I use this to kind of add string in the background, so I'm probably going to need some of that. I'm also going to definitely add some kind of dangling charm here. So I'm going to need to pull out some of my beads and my hole punch and some jump rings and things like that. I'm also going to need some foam tape. So let me grab all that. Okay, I picked up a few things. I also forgot to mention that this glitter paper is a piece of poster board from Hobby Lobby that I picked up when they were on clearance. I don't know if Hobby Lobby still has other kinds of poster board. It was like a huge thing. I just cut it down and I've been using it as cardstock. So, you know, I haven't been good about this pretty much all my crafting years, but after watching a few recent crafting videos, I've sort of learned to look at things differently and ask myself, you know, that's pretty, how could I use that in crafting? And so I've been sort of, you know, gathering random stuff that's not really meant for crafting, but works really well. So what I'm going to do first is add some foam tape to this. This is my handy dandy Dollar Tree foam tape. I like using this because it's really thin, so you can add dimension without adding too much dimension. I like to put several layers on things, so sometimes it's good to not have a crazy thickness to the foam tape. I like to cover as much of the back as I possibly can. So that part's left open there, but I'm going to add another little piece because I want it to all lay as flat as possible. So I've got that. Let's see. I think everything can be tucked in. I don't want to back myself into a corner here by gluing something down too early. I'm going to get some of this thread and I'm going to trim off some of it. And I'm going to pull off the backing to this tape. And I want some of this thread peeking through. So what I do is I just hold it like this and then I smush it down and then I just let it kind of go crazy. And I make little loops in the back so that parts of it are peeking out, and I try not to make it any rhyme or reason because it looks best if it's just messy back there. But I am trying to push it down so that it stays in on the back on the tape there. And so then when I lay it down, it'll look kind of like that. So there's that. Okay, so this is my glue gun. It's from Walmart. It is a hot mess, but it still works and it's very hot. And I like the nozzle on it. I did buy a replacement, but I'm waiting till this one completely gives out before I use the other one. So just ignore how scary this looks. So this tape is super sticky and would probably fit on here just fine and stay on here, but I like to always put a little bit of hot glue just to make sure. So I'm just going to put one strip down there, and then I'm going to adhere this, not quite in the center, a little bit down, because remember my words are going to go in the center. So I'm going to put it about right there. Okay, and I am not a precise crafter. I'm a, that looks pretty good kind of crafter. So hopefully that doesn't drive you too crazy. Okay, so I put my love sentiment on here, and part of it's going to hang over the top, and so I want to make sure it's as level as possible. So I'm going to get some thicker foam tape and just put it across the very top of this so that when it lays down, it will all be on the same playing field, and it won't have a tendency to flip up like this. All right, so I'm just going to put this on the very top up here. I don't know where this foam tape is from. It was in my stash, but I don't know where I got it. It's thicker though. So I'm using this to make up for the foam that's behind here, and then also this paper. Okay, and so then when I lay that down, it should work good. Okay, so I'm going to put a little hot glue on the back of this. And I just burned my finger, and that hurts. Okay, so I'm going to just set that there. Next thing I'm going to do is tuck my flag in back here. So again, I'm going to put some foam tape on the back, and I'm going to use the thicker stuff, I think, for this. So I'm just going to put a little bit of that there, and I think that's good. I'm going to put a little bit of hot glue. And tuck this in right back here. Right there. Okay, and I got a couple glue strings, and I'll get those off. Okay, so there's that, and that's looking cute. This stick is a little too long for me, so I'm going to trim that off a bit. Probably about that much. Okay, so there we go with that. And then I'm going to add this here. And I've got to decide if I want it to be there or down here. All right, let me think about this for a minute. Okay, so this is too long, so I'm going to trim off this side, and I'm going to try to trim this as best I can so that it doesn't look like I trimmed it. So I'm going to try to just follow those natural lines there and take off the extra. Okay, that's pretty good. Okay, so I'm going to glue this down here. I'm not going to use hot glue for this. This is very tiny. So I'm going to use my Barely Arts glue. And I'm only going to glue the tops because you can see the bottom's going to hang down. So I'm just going to put some glue here, just a little bit. It's gluing paper on paper, so it shouldn't have any issue with just the regular glue. And I'm going to put this, I think, here, like that. I've got to just hold it down for a second to let the glue adhere to the paper. Okay, that's looking cute, I think. Okay. Then I have this little piece that I had thought about tucking down here. Excuse me. Got some allergy problems going on right now. So this was trimmed off from a much longer piece, and I just kept it. I'm going to trim the other side so that it looks like it's that way on purpose. And so that they're the same. And again, I'm just going to put some glue here with this Barely Arts glue. And tuck that up underneath here just to add a little bit more interest. Okay, so that's coming along cute. So I want to add something here. I like layering words. So give me a minute. I'm going to go see what kind of chipboard I have that might work. Okay, so I found this main squeeze chipboard. I did not get the chipboard for, all I really got was the paper, a sticker book, and some ephemera from the Simple Stories collection. So I'm probably, like I said, probably going to go back and get it because now I'm missing out because I like it so much. So I'm thinking I'm going to add this to tie in this black and the black and white polka dots, but I don't know where yet. So I'm going to try to see what I think looks best. It's kind of long. I wish it was shorter. I want you to be able to tell that that says love. So that's my issue. I don't want to cover up too much of it. Let me look at it for a minute. Let me think about it. Okay, so I dug through some things that I have. I found this little gold heart that matches the gold that I've used on my stick there. And this was cut out from the confetti, heart confetti, or Valentine's confetti, I think, from KS Craft. And it fits perfectly in this little O. So I'm going to put that there to tie in the gold. And then I think I've decided I'm going to keep this here. This has sticky on the back. It will not stay. So I'm going to hot glue it. The sticky on the back of these stickers and chipboard, it's not reliable. Don't trust it. It will just peel right off. And even with the hot glue, it might still peel off. Hopefully not. That's why I like to use the really, really hot glue gun because I feel like it has a better hold. But sometimes if it gets on your fingers, it hurts. Okay, so this is looking cute, I think. Okay, so that's our embellishment. And then I want to add a dangle. So I'm going to punch a hole, I think, over here. I could do it in this XO. I probably should have done it first, but I think the slips over here need something, so no, should I do it here or here? Let me think about this and get the stuff I need. Okay, so I picked out some things. I just realized we did not use our little stitched piece here, but I think that's okay. It probably would have just gotten buried back there. So one thing I did find, I found this little, I don't know what this is, resin bow that goes on top of your nails. It's meant to be like nail art. But I bought a bunch of these, I think on Instagram or maybe Etsy. And I think it would look cute there. So I'm going to add that. When I glue those on, I use a special kind of glue because they're plastic. They don't stick well with hot glue, and they don't stick well with Barely Art. So I use E6000. So I'm going to put a little bit of glue on that. And then I'm going to punch my hole and set an eyelet and then decide which of these little charms to put on here. Okay, I glued down my little bow, and now I'm going to use my handy dandy crocodile here. And I'm going to use the smaller side. This is the original crocodile from like 20 years ago when it first came out. So it's still working, but it is a little rusty here. Okay, so I've got my hole, and then I'm going to grab an eyelet and put that in there. Okay, so I picked out a pink eyelet. So I'm going to put this in here. I don't know about y'all, but whenever I put eyelets in things, they don't turn out perfectly. I'm sure I'm using like the wrong setting or something. Yeah, actually, that one turned out pretty good. Okay, so there's my little eyelet. And like I said, I picked out a few charms to try out and see what looks good. I picked out smaller charms. I don't want anything too big. So I'm going to grab some jump rings. I'm going to get one of these big gold ones because we're pretty much using gold here. And we'll start with that. I'm just going to use my hands because, well, I say that, that's pretty tough. Hold on. Okay, a lot of times you can just open them with your hands, but this one's really tough. So I'm going to use these little pliers, and the key to this is to open it forwards and backwards like that. And so I'm going to put this in here. I have no idea what size jump ring this is. Probably like a, I don't know, like a medium type size. So there's that option. And then I could do some beads. It seems big though. I'm going to try out, let's see, let's try this hot pink. I feel like we need to tie in some red. So I've got this with it. Okay, that's cute. And then I need some kind of Valentine's Day thing. I've got this gold one, or I could do this red heart locket. That's kind of cute. Okay, let me see about an arrangement here. I know this video is so long. Like I told you guys, I'm a super slow crafter. Okay, so I just spent about 10 minutes messing with this little jump ring. I'm not still 100% happy with it, so I may end up having to change it. I'm not making any promises. But anyway, so I picked, I had to change the charm because the red locket was getting lost behind the beads. Just the way it was laying, it just wasn't working right. So anyways, like I said, I may change that out, but we'll keep going because this is getting pretty long here. Okay, so that's what I've got so far. And then at this point is usually when I add like gems or enamel dots, or just another texture to the embellishment. So my favorite gems to use are these ones. Let's see. These ones here. These are from Want to Scrap, and I got these at a scrapbook expo, but I went online and bought more. These are the Mother of Pearl. And I like them because they're pretty neutral and they go with everything. So again, I don't trust these to stick. I put glue behind them. I just use the Barely Arts glue and it sticks pretty well. And but first I do stick them on there to make sure I like the placement. And I always do it in odd numbers. And I try to spread them out and tuck them in behind things. So, there is that. Let's see, I'm going to move this one over to like maybe over here. Okay, there. Okay, so that is our embellishment. So thank you guys so much, especially those of you who have watched to the end. I know that was super long. This is my first Craft With Me video, so thanks for being patient, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye!